Many people have asked me where the notion for Road to Avonlea actually began. It began as a creative challenge from a friend of mine who said to me, no one has ever really created a long-running television series. You've got this great property, Anne of Green Gables. Why don't you consider doing it? I couldn't envisage doing an ongoing weekly television series based on Anne of Green Gables. I just felt it would be too difficult to base an ongoing series on a single character. So I didn't really take the idea too seriously until Colleen Dewhurst stepped up, and she said that she really wanted to do a series. She suggested not just doing Anne, but doing an ensemble piece about the town itself.
It's becoming like an annuity. When we started out, it was just kind of, I said, well, here's a lovely children's story. I loved the story, of course. And first story ever read to me as a child, because we were in Canada, and I'd become fascinated by the reaction, the mail I was getting and continued to get, was just incredible to me, because I was getting mail and reactions from all different types of people and across the world, and I guess I really wanted to know what it was about these people that in this, coming out of this book, what it was that made them react so strongly.
So I started thinking about it seriously at that point. She was really looking to create a venue for herself, but after we discussed it a couple of times, I really thought the idea began to have merit. I started thinking about all the great actors that Canada has to offer, and I began to think that if I could get my hands on a really terrific cast, create a fantastic ensemble of performers, that maybe there was a possibility to give a show like this some legs. Not rested on the back of a single character, but really do it as a big ensemble piece. In creating that ensemble of characters, I went back to many of the original performers who'd been in Avonlea and either cast them in the roles that they'd played originally, like Patricia Hamilton played Rachel Lynde.
I want you to take Anne so she can meet some civilized children her own age. Her tongue appears to be hinged in the middle, but she may turn out all right.
Oh, what do you think you're doing in here, woman? You're trespassing.
Trespassing? I should report you and that beast to the Carmody magistrate. I ought to have you prosecuted for having such an animal.
Or recast them. Took Rosemary Dunsmore and turned her into Abigail.
This is the first place I've ever been to that feels like a real home.
Hello, Felicity, dear. Hello, Sarah. I've been meaning to have you over for such a long time.
There's a few, Miss Ward.
Thank you. And you needn't be so formal. Call me Aunt Abigail.
Or took Mag Ruffman, who was terrific in Anne of Green Gables as Alice Lawson, the shop girl, and recast her as Olivia King.
Puffed sleeves? Oh, it's senseless, Sarah. Hetty blames him for taking your mother away from us, and some people just can't let go of the hurt. Seems like the longer they hold on to it, the larger it becomes.
I enjoyed working with the actors in the original so much, and I just felt that they kind of captured that world of Montgomery on screen, that I felt that they would be wonderful collaborators on a long-term basis. And so as a result of that, I really went back through the original cast and started pulling people that I liked working with on the original movie.
It's the weirdest thing in the world that I ended up playing Aunt Olivia on Road to Avonlea. I had no idea that I would ever get that part. So when I auditioned for Aunt Olivia, I noticed that there weren't any other people there at that audition that were coming in for Aunt Olivia, but I just thought, well, I just must have a weird time. And then I worked so hard at the audition, and I wanted to be so good because, well, you do, you know. And Kevin later told me, like this year, I didn't even find out that he said, oh, the part was yours. There wasn't anybody else. I wasn't even thinking of having anybody else do that part. And it's like, you're kidding. Well, you could have told me, because I almost screwed up the audition because I was so nervous trying to make an impression because there were all these suits. He should have just told me.
When I was asked about doing Alec King, And I spent some time trying to figure out what exactly I was doing here, what I was playing, and it took me the best part of the first season to realize that, God, I was just I was trying to play my dad. I was trying to play a decent guy with a sense of humor who worked very hard for his family, and that I represented a lot of people. I felt a tremendous responsibility playing a farmer. In fact, you know, the greatest compliment I think I ever had was when I was down in PEI some years ago, spending the summer, and I had a guy come up to me in the street in Charlottetown with his kids, and he was a farmer from outside of town, and the kids wanted my autograph, and he said to me, and the last thing he said to me, "Oh, no, good luck," he says to me, he said, "No, you know, it's good to see someone from the island doing well up there in Toronto," he says, and pats me on the back. He actually thought I was a local. And I thought, my God, that's something. That's the supreme compliment.
I'm from Saskatchewan. I'm not from the East Coast. I've had lots of people say that I got hold of that East Coast character quite well, but I think I did that by going through my Saskatchewan roots, so that it may not have been authentically East Coast, but it was authentically country as opposed to city. And when you do a continuing character, a wonderful kind of thing happens. There's the writers get to know how you work, and they work with you. So that the further along I went with Rachel Lynde, and I did, between the Anne movies and The Road to Avonlea, I did play the character for over a decade. I would get the scripts, and as we went along, the scripts would be easier and easier for me to assimilate. So I think, in fact, I did bring myself to it, and it became part of me. That's a wonderful thing about doing a continuing character, the chance to actually relax into a part so that it becomes second nature to you. And in the end, I think I could have swum like Rachel Lynde if they'd asked me to.
Over a period of time, these actors were as interested in the series as I became interested in, and they really became the lifeblood of Avonlea. So it moved a long way from Colleen Dewhurst trying to create a venue for herself as looking at a launching pad that she could be in a long-running series to this real ensemble. And unfortunately, Colleen passed away in the third season, so we really didn't have all that much time on screen with her. But I would say that the notion that she had that this would be a great ensemble really turned out to be a reality.
To come back here today somehow was like Patricia and I were saying, suddenly it was relaxing for us, sitting in those chairs on that porch. Now you begin to feel like where you are. Now it all comes, the memories all come back about where you were before, and that helps. Now you have a background that you both begin to react to.